Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Subnautica. Last time we tried to establish a permanent base down here, but alas, no matter what I try, I simply can't seem to make it happen, so in order to get the things to make this work, we're gonna have to arrange a trip to the surface. Now we could do it in the Cyclops, but I kind of feel like going for a little bit of a journey. This thing is nicely powered by a nuclear reactor, but we still need a moon pool in order to craft this upgrade. So what I'm going to do is try and head for the nearest base, get as far as I can in the prawn, and then get out in the sea glide and try and close the last distance. We are hungry, we are thirsty, we don't have a lot of time. But it seems like we're going to have to bring this thing all the way back to the island outpost. Let's just Spider-Man 2 this thing. Yep. Here in the chamber of our even more gargantuan friend, which, remember what they said, only the front third of this entire organism. Something so ancient that it's literally... Oh god, what are you gonna do with us? I mean, we know what you're gonna try and do with us, but can you? Something so gargantuan and ancient that it actually had this cave form around it, above it. It makes you realize that the true scale of what we're walking through predates even our intelligent alien precursors in a way that is almost completely incomprehensible to me. Oh god, here you come. Here you come. Yep. Get away from me. Oh wow, we're damaged, but we're actually drawing blood on you, which is, I don't know, I think that deserves some points. Like, I think that's one of those things where, like, God looks at you and says, you know what, you deserve to get out of this alive. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. I think, as always, we've got to be self-reliant. But I think I'm just so bad at being able to comprehend timescales like that. I mean, if you think of, like, 1,000 years from now, you think of, like, almost alien-level technology, and to be fair, that's almost what it's been like, the difference between, like, 2000 and 2020, you know? Everything is just so different. It sort of reminds me of that fact people always quote about how Cleopatra is older than the dinosaurs. It really makes you think. But look, here we're having to kind of play leapfrog, hopping over these branches standing out of the acid. Or at least I assume that's what it is. We are gonna have to start making some decisions soon because we're getting really hungry and thirsty. I definitely think we're starting to slow down way too much. I just wanna close as much of this distance as possible so we'll have enough oxygen to make it in the sea glide. This grapple arm, of course, being a godsend. If we can just reduce our depth, we're more or less right under it, and we should have a straight shot to the surface. This isn't actually too super far. And as we enter this biome, I think we've just about made it. We're only 400 meters away. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do this in the sea glide from here. We'll be back for you, Prawn. You are so cool. I will never leave you behind.
Starvation imminent. Seek calorie intake immediately.
It's the Degassi Hab. If only there was still something more to salvage from it. Reginald. Reginald, I require your assistance. I don't think I've eaten one before, but I could certainly stand it now. Please, leave me alone, crab squid. There we go. Ugh. I said leave me alone. Just bit me on the butt on the way out. And at least I'll have a story to tell about that scar. Oh, home sweet home. God, I am so happy to see you. You sustainable place, or so I thought. Now we're just gonna have to grab some of these seed clusters. And something I want to try is to do these, and I think if we plant these as seed clusters, I read, we can actually get them to grow with seeds on them, which I was kind of hoping would happen anyway, but it seems like that's what we have to do. We're actually really lucky because we built this base more or less right on top of the hole leading down into what I now know is called the Lost River. And so we actually have really quick ease of access to and from. It actually wasn't nearly as arduous of a journey as I was thinking in the Prawn. I was thinking it was going to be like the Revenant, you know? I was going to have to fight my way up through all these caves with all these predators, a long-distance journey. And in the end, it actually was fairly easy going. It only took me a few minutes in what is essentially the least mobile vehicle in the game. Yeah, this is kinda sweet to use. Now look, I realize that we are extremely low on power here. Extremely low, wow! It's probably because we keep charging up those power cells on the Prawn. That few percent every time probably adds up, plus all the distance we've traveled in this thing. So we are going to have to really get this moon pool going. And we've got to build the power cell charger on board here. I want this place to be self-sufficient. And the best way to do that is... Actually, we're probably going to have to go back on the Cyclops and get those titanium so we can build an exterior grow bed. The nuclear power helps us a lot, because one thing the Cyclops can't do for all its good things is act as a power plant. Insufficient undocking clearance? What do you mean? Is there something down there? Okay, now we can. Something was passing in front of us. Well, that's horrifying. Now I don't see anything. But the charge from this thing, it's just gonna have to be enough for a little while. We need titanium. There's our power cell charger. And with that going for us, hopefully we'll have our energy needs sorted for the Cyclops really quickly, effectively making this the first real docking base for it. And it's pretty far out of the way, but you get the idea. So if we climb up here, even if we just take 2 of the power cells, just something to get us going, that should be all we need. I'm actually going to start doing something kind of extremely stupid, even though this was supposed to be just like a quick expedition that I finished at the end of the last episode. But the more I do this, the more I'm realizing that it's going to make so much more sense to like actually build out infrastructure down here. Because with the nuclear reactor, with the building of the power cell charger, it's already got capabilities that nobody else has. And if we're going to be spending a lot of time doing whatever's down in that shelf, being able to produce stuff right there instead of having to go all the way back up every time is going to be extraordinarily useful. So that's what we need to do. It needs its own water filtration, it needs its own crops, it needs literally everything. But it'll save us a whole lot of travel in the end. And so I'm going back to get Liberty. With her depth module, it'll make these runs so much easier. And of course, the issue with going out this way in the Prawn is that it's not nearly as much of a straight shot. So I think we're gonna bank you pretty much just over here in this edge. Stay low. Actually, what some of you have told me, now that episodes are starting to come out, is that Leviathans, unlike their smaller counterparts, generally operate via echolocation rather than light. So we're just gonna do all that, make sure that we have another battery for the Sea Glide to use in a pinch, and try and get out. It's all about, You know what? Even for our amount of oxygen, I'm worried this will be too much. I think I left the Prawn prematurely. Lift us out. And yes, I am aware that going back to the moon pool that has the upgrade station defeats the purpose, but you know, I feel like everything that I've done wrong in this Let's Play has kind of been a happy accident that led to us having things that were convenient later, and that's how I'm trying to see this base. Are there things that I would do differently on a second playthrough? Absolutely. Like, this has not been efficient at all by any means, but I'm definitely having fun with it, having all these, like, challenges arise so dynamically. We're going to start grabbing more of these for when it comes time to build a new reactor rod. As before, it will be the humble prawn that helps guide us back to the cave entrance. But right now, we don't want to have to bring it too far back. So we're going to make the rest of this journey in the Sea Glide. First priority, surface. Second, make our way around the island. And man, why is it getting so much darker the second we leave the underwater cave? Okay, there's a whole ton of titanium just randomly falling to the ocean floor. Where did that come from? We are really off in the abyss. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't seen any leviathans. However, past knowledge tells us there should be some very nearby, so maybe let's not count our chickens just yet. Building a base down there is turning out to be like occupying a country. With just so much mission creep, it's unreal. But here's the situation as I have calculated it now. We are going to take Liberty's death module and bring it to Percy. Mainly because I just feel like Percy hasn't really gotten to do too much in this series, and I want to use her more. But also because it's a lot easier to bring a Seamoth back and forth between the island outpost than the cannon outpost. So we're going to bring her down, retrieve the prawn on our own time, and finish building this base. So, also with some extra goodies in tow, you, Percy, are going to become our next main thing. We're going to give you some true taste of power. There you go. You've got your storage. You're the one we want down there right now. Yep.
Welcome aboard Cal Systems Online.
Now, Percy has arrived, giving us a much, much faster vehicle in these spaces. And now we're going to go meet the prawn halfway, which, wow, it's actually much further than I thought. It's actually kind of crazy how much ground we can clear in such a short time with this thing. Retrieve you. This whole thing has literally felt like that word problem where, like, the fox, the hen, and the feed have to all go across the river on a boat. But we are finally nearing the conclusion of that. And I promise you we are going to get exploring deeper depths in this episode. We have everything we need. Can we grapple off of you? We actually can! Oh my god, that is so friggin' funny. Now, if only I had released at the right time, we could have swung ourselves around. It does not sound like he was happy about that, though. But I'm not one to care what guys like that think. Okay, no you don't. Goodbye. Get out of here. Get out of here, you! We might take some damage, but we can at least annoy you out of our face. I wonder if it is actually possible to kill it. Answer, probably not easily. It looks like everything is continuing to grow as needed. And we should be able to get our indoor food production going as well. Oh, no, I want the storage. Just grab a couple of those. Now the real question is going to be what's going on with this nuclear fuel. I'm just really worried it'll run out trying to charge these things, that we won't have enough. But if we build our indoor grow bed, you know, just right here next to the nuclear reactor, I'm sure it's totally fine. Look, I'm not really thinking long-term here. We can do that and plant you guys. And that's one small step towards sustainability and a brighter tomorrow. Now, the moon pool is going to need some additional clearance. So what we're going to do is build an eye compartment. Can we have that facing upward? That'll be a vertical connector. But we can't because there's a thing in the middle. Great. But we can put another multi-purpose room with a ladder inside. Don't mind us, just burning to death. That's the beauty of the reinforced dive suit. There we go. And now, at long last, we have everything we need for a moon pool. Which doesn't need quite as much clearance because, hey, we've got that pool below and it's really only going to be used for the prawn, I think. Everything else can be done via the Cyclops for the Seamoth. And now we just have to... Oh no, you're too weak. You're too weak. Okay, we need to deconstruct you, actually. Oh, look, we've got some flooding. All right, we've got to repair that. I hadn't even considered that, but it makes sense. I wonder if the tolerances aren't actually even a little bit lower the deeper you are. I hope that didn't ruin our crops. They seem okay. That was real scary happening down here, but if we just get some lithium, we should be all right. Who knew maintaining a base in one of the most inhospitable environments imaginable that's completely self-sufficient would be so challenging? I think it's safe to say we're not going to be building anything beneath the moon pool, but it could be a cool spot for a window. So let's just place this right over here. We now have tons and tons of extra hull strength. I'm not sure how much we'll need, though. So perhaps we'll build ourselves another one? Now we can build our moon pool, if we can just find the spot it was at last time. There we are. And now we have a direct way to charge up the prawn and means to build our upgrade station. So what will that require of us? A whole lot.
Starvation imminent.
Yeah, shut up, nerd. People who are brilliant don't need food, and we are officially brilliant. For example, putting a window on an underwater base in a high-pressure environment. I mean, that's pretty cool. But also, we should now have everything we need to finally finish this friggin' mission. So where were we? And we can just stick you right in there. Where we should have all the materials we need to build the diving module. The only thing stopping us from doing this at base before we set sail was the lack of nickel. But now we've got it. Look at this, trudging up this hill, being able to see inside to the nuclear reactor and our big crazy robot. Imagine even more the view looking out at us coming into the moon pool. But I think we'll be ready to continue our mission as soon as we charge her up. Now we can look at your upgrades. And there you go, you can now descend to 1,300 meters. We're going to need the mod station for the upgrade to that, but that is already on our Cyclops, which we do now have the ability to rescue. So let's just grab a couple of these out of there. I brought this empty one from a long time ago on board. And hopefully that doesn't overwhelm that one fuel rod. We'll make some redundant ones later. For now, I have neglected exploring for far too long. It's been way too much logistics, and I am eager to get back in. You and you. C-Lab, you're back in business. Is it the most prepared we could be? No, absolutely not. We have no extra food, a decent amount of extra water, actually. But really, I'm sick of waiting, and I'm sure so are you as well. We've got the capabilities, so what else are we doing? Let's get out there.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Oh wow, there's even a pit for us to fall into as soon as we get down, so there's a skill to leaving this bay. Every airstrip has its quirks. Now, let's head towards the back of this thing, and beyond the tree, and down the cliff. Actually, if we descend into that bluer fluid, is that the same thing as above, the acid, or is it actually something different? Well, these deep shrooms are actually present down here. One of the advantages of a lower perspective that the prawn offers, I suppose. But I'm not seeing anything here besides the very notably perforated rock face down here. But no. While this is denser, it doesn't seem to be hurting me. I also noticed when I turned around just there that there is magnetite down here, and uranite, and all kinds of things that we probably want to start growing and farming. But we've no quarrel with you guys. I am just passing through. There is that cliff. And if we can get ourselves up there, let's once more, and hopefully not for the last time, set a record. I just hope it's not, it could be more than 1,300 meters down. I mean, it would certainly be a good jumping off point, no pun intended. And I suppose we are already another 100 meters down from where the sea moth could take us. Every time you push yourself a little further, it's really scary. And that never goes away, no matter how long you play this game. What material is that? Lithium? Maybe we'll grab some on the way back, but that was quite a loud noise. And I'm guessing this turn to red means we're getting down into the magma layer of this planet, right? That's what we're going to see when we look over the edge, right? Something which we maybe could have entered from the room with the Leviathan, but who wants to do that? Now, Magmarang, you're a different subspecies of the boomerang. There we go. Okay, it's been a while since we've had to do this, but we've got a whole new bunch of things to scan. There we go. The Magmarang is an adaptation of the common boomerang, evolved to survive in high-temperature environments. Dark red coloration helps this subspecies to blend into igneous rock environments. Orange detailing resembles active lava flow, deterring more cautious predators. Smart. You're actually telling everyone I'm too hot. Behavior. Marginally bolder than its shallow-dwelling cousins, the Magmarang will nonetheless flee any creature larger than itself with impressive speed. As for the red eye, a small herbivorous creature with poor maneuverability, evolved to inhabit high-temperature environments. Deep red and orange coloration enables this subspecies to blend into volcanic environments and reflect environmental thermal energy, thus rendering it almost invisible to most predators. Delicate, light-based eyesight is impractical at these temperatures, and the red eye has developed thermal vision in its place. In this species' volcanic domain, edible plant matter and potential predators are the coldest entities in range. Very interesting. Now the question is, are we better off in the sea glide or the prawn? Answer? Do you even have to ask? Of course we're going deeper in the prawn. There's more behind us, but right now I am focusing on depth, first and foremost. Feels like I should be having a battle for my Padawan's soul down here. Moments like this, you really have to appreciate just how far you are from the surface. I'm probably not going to be cutting much of this because The relative silence is kind of crazy. We're used to hearing the calls of large creatures. But down here, what we're hearing is mostly the planet shifting. Oh, I'm seeing some more thingies. In fact, you don't look like anything we've seen on the surface. Thank you, reinforced dive suit. Lava larva. Wow, you evolved to be suited to alliteration. There we go. I wonder how that helps you survive. A grub-like species which appears to lack sight and smell, but is able to sense and drain thermal and electrical energy in its immediate environment. It has a suction cup capable of attaching to smooth surfaces and generating high-pressure suction. Will release if it comes under sufficient strain. Will you try to drain the power from our prawn? Thick scales protect from extreme temperatures. The lava larva lacks a traditional digestive system. Instead, it powers its internal processes directly from the energy it consumes. Attracted to energy sources of all kinds, draws energy from its prey to survive, avoid when piloting vehicles, remove to preserve batteries. So, yeah, you're actually, for as relatively docile as you are, it's going to be really important to keep away from you because running out of power down here is basically a death sentence. Oh, look, an active molten flow. I imagine we don't want to go down there unless a T-1000 attaches itself to us. Can we do anything with this? Nope. No, we cannot. It is far too hotsicle. But what about that? Hang on, if I see something that looks like it stands out as a model rather than just the environment, I have to take a look. I'm pretty much obligated. Yep. We can go a bit deeper. You've even got bone sharks down here, because of course you do. Well, this is going to be one of those savey moments. Do we still have our stasis rifle on us? We do. And we don't need the hab builder at the moment. Oh no, you're not a bone shark. You're something totally different. Come on, slow down. There we are. Lava lizard. So there's a lot of variations down here, but also some more unique creatures. Cataloging's half the fun. Oh, look at you. Medium-sized predator adapted for life in volcanic regions, and remarkably able to spit molten rock at its foes. Designed to do maximum damage to prey, sharp internal teeth tear through flesh and bone alike. Likely due to regular exposure to magma, lava lizards build up a thick layer of scar tissue over time, which enables them to withstand even greater temperatures inside and out. It's able to both defend itself by burying its body in magma, and go on the offensive by spitting molten rock at its foes. Okay, so it said avoid, especially in the presence of lava flow, so I guess that's not something you can just produce. You've got to grab it from somewhere. Like that. But these things may be highly suited to this environment, but it is much, much deader than the places we've come from. But I'll tell you what, I think we have found this mysterious kyanite substance. And some rather large formations, of course. Even here, you guys can find me, meaning that, as we had already guessed from those depth assessments in the facility report, you guys, the aliens had been down here as well. Get away from me. I'm gonna really need you to leave me alone. Okay, stasis rifle. Towards you. And some hot knife to the back of the dome. Get out of here. It's our best bet.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Now, back to collecting rare and valuable materials. This will actually enable us, even just this little bit, to produce some of our more elusive recipes. Our storage is full, and at this gradient, I hadn't even realized how close we are to our new depth limit. There are some lava rays up there, which we actually already knew about the existence of because there were some at the alien bioresearch facility. So I think we're actually going to cut this short and head back in a moment, right as soon as we can get some scans of them. Hopefully they're not dangerous. Howdy, guys. I just need a little sample. Just a few milligrams of stool would make all the difference in the world to me. It looks like one of you is actually maybe giving chase? Oh no, I'm sorry. I may have made things substantially worse for you. Crimson Ray. Okay, goodbye. That was all I wanted. Just a little bit of information. That's what those first exploratory, well, explorations are always about. But after a lot of building, my interest is renewed. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need you to get out of here. Can't tell if I killed you or not, but we can't take you with us. Now, Crimson Ray, one of the largest rays on the planet, displaying generally docile behavior. Scales formed on the skin protect this ray from extreme temperatures, allowing it to survive in areas unpopulated by competing scavengers. It's got forward-mounted eye sockets, suggesting a predatory evolutionary history, left behind long ago. Wow. We've got a long way to travel to get back out of here. I hadn't even realized how deep we were going. It's so crazy when you're down in these depths to see just where you are relative to everything else, huh? I mean, which way do we go back? But that infection can be found even down here. You know what's crazy? You spend this entire game trying to avoid all these crazy creatures that want to eat you, and over time you gain such an appreciation for them that even in spite of that, the mission kind of becomes to try and save them all. Oh, wow. I almost fell straight down here. Okay, yep, no, you leave me alone, sir. I'm sorry for trespassing, but I will be on my way momentarily if you'll just let me. I think the next thing that's going to happen here, because I am seeing all kinds of cave systems going in all different directions. The next order of business is going to be we need to make a bunch of beacons to navigate down here. Because travel is limited. Even this little bit drained 20% of our prawn. And the Seamoth can't get here, like, ever. I think we are officially where no human has gone before. I would be very surprised if we find any human stuff this far down, over a kilometer deep. I wouldn't even be surprised, given their location, if the Degassi survivors manage to get down to the research outpost. But beyond that, no. Look at these waterfalls here. This is how we know. And we've made it back to friendly shelves. Well, and the presence of you guys. So, with our first expedition complete in this thing, and a whole lot of new discoveries made, I believe that thing said that there may be additional facilities at 1,200 and even 1,400 meters. I am pretty happy with the results of all this. And the only thing left to do now before we try it again is, well, upgrade our depths so we can go even deeper. I think my biggest regret for this series is not figuring out agriculture sooner. Because I think if I had just done that, so many things would have come so much more easily and so much more quickly. But, live and learn. We're gonna build a couple more grow beds, get a couple more species down here. And with any luck, we won't really have to leave too much for the rest of the series, at least until we decide to. I'm sure there's still other things we can see on the surface. But for the most part, I think we're a deep sea dweller now. With our new discovery of nickel, it should actually be pretty easy to get the Cyclops Depth Module Mark II, which will allow us to bring this thing even closer to that ledge, and probably mean, well, less commute in the prawn. As for the prawn itself, Well, we can just straight up do it. We can do it now. We can literally just do it now. We have the kyanite. Oh my god, that's so exciting. Okay, right now we're gonna see how much farther we can go. And just like that, Prawn Depth Module Mark II, which should literally enable us to reach the deepest depths in the game. Like, as long as we do it in the Prawn, there are literally no limits anymore. So, there's an exciting thought. And if we just take a quick jaunt over there, we can find out what that nets us. 1,700 meters. 1,700 meters. I had thought that 14 would be like the lower limit. Why did the aliens feel the need to make it this secure? To the point where even human technology is kind of stretching its limits, but... well, I guess we're due another expedition. You know, if there's one feature I love the most about this game's gameplay, it's probably the ability to build a base literally anywhere. Because it's just one of those features in this that makes it so that the challenges are so dynamic. Even though the world is the same every time, even though the progression is relatively the same as far as the story goes, the way you play, where you decide to set up camp, it changes the way you go about things. Changes your logistics, changes the path of your exploration. It just makes it feel like something I'd even like to replay on my own when this is all done, you know? But then again, I suppose this Let's Play doesn't have to end with the end of the story, right? Like, I've been so focused on getting all these vehicle upgrades so that I can go deeper, do new things, that I feel like I've really neglected the base building aspects of this. In the meantime, we need ourselves some copper wire because we've got our food. Next we need water. So if I wanted a water filtration system, unfortunately we can't put it on the reinforced sections. I think we'll find a better place for this upstairs. So you just go right over here, and hopefully the nuclear power will be able to sustain this. Which reminds me, I've got to make some more rods. There we go, one more. And man, these things are just so good. I can't believe, you know, I had found a post from a while back saying that these things aren't really worth it. And granted, it was from early access, but I just can't imagine that being the case. Maybe it's only for early game or someplace where you have more ready access to plants, but this is just so much more headroom than I've ever had before, to the point where it's not even really a concern.
Emergency.
Yeah, I know.
Seek calorie.
I just noticed the description of gold. Valuable conductive properties. Highly valuable social property. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'm just doing some mining here because, like, I don't know, it's just something about being down here has made me realize the value of just having a fun base and not necessarily only a functional one. I'm starting to think of, like, my designs for after this is all done, and, well, honestly, I'm feeling perhaps a vacation house in my future. Like, a big, opulent one. I know a big part of... I guess the sort of theme of this game, at least as far as the Altera documents go, is an appreciation for, like, the little things rather than just pure materialism. And so it sort of has made me think throughout this game, why would I even want to leave? I mean, I might be undermining that a little bit by having the most materials here, but I don't know, I was going somewhere with this. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this swinging, too. If you start your jets, like, right at the end of your swing and take off, you can really do something with that, especially if you've already got that forward momentum. I think it's so cool how even beneath this river, there's deep places to explore. So much for people who actually want to dig deep with the prawn. I like how vehicles don't, like, sort of replace each other directly in an upgrade path. Like, they all have their own purpose, and they're never really made redundant. This is literally Spider-Man 2 for PS2. It's just so much fun. You know what I think this place could really use is its very own scanner room. I mean, there's so many resources down here, but a lot of it is fairly obscured in the deep, meaning we have to look pretty far in order to actually get anything with the prawn. Only question is, what would be a suitable spot to build it? Oh, I saw it. Oh, down. Three-dimensional space. Not the easiest thing for snapping. There we go. And this should do us quite nicely, especially now that we actually have the power to support it. There we are. Although I do think we need to find more uranite down in the deep on our next expedition. Num. We are eating good tonight. And we're going to be doing even better in a second. So let's just harvest the rest of you for seeds. We've got our water filtration finished upstairs. And I think we are just about good to go. I never have to leave this cave. That is awesome. Only thing I might do at some point is go back up for Bloodvine. But I think we're just about ready to move on now. If we just grab one of you, should be all we need. Our scanner room is complete over there. God, it's just so... I feel like I've been playing this game incorrectly, to be honest. And I know a lot of you have been probably yelling at me through the entire playthrough. But it's like, the more I play, the more easily I'm able to see all the mistakes I made early on that could have saved me a lot of trouble. And so, I don't know, I just really want to bring that all home towards the end of this. And of course, I'm still talking about the future. We need to worry about the present, and that's going to mean giving us a little base camp closer to the edge. Yep, even having this thing down here isn't enough for me. So let's power this thing up and get 20,000 leagues under the sea. We've charged most of our power cells. I'm not going to wait around for more. Here we are now heading towards the Great Tree. I almost want to look around to see if there's any eggs we can salvage. I mean, imagine having a pet tiny one of these things. I do want to start our own aquarium. In fact, when we go to build our vacation house, I kind of want to have a large aquarium. Maybe even Noah's Ark it, have a bunch of each creature, but given the predatory dynamics of some of them, maybe that's not the wisest thing. All I gotta say is it's kind of funny that these things have been undisturbed down here for like at least 1,000 years. And now here we come with an increasing parade of the craziest things they've ever seen. Okay, let's maneuver around this geyser. And if I can just bring this thing to the edge of the cliff, that'll save us a whole lot of return trip in the prawn. The power cells don't actually last all that long if you lose yourself in exploring. But only a few meters left until this thing bottoms out. I think this is about where we're gonna have to leave it. Actually, if we can find the room, maybe we'll even back it into the parking space for easy prawn redelivery. And perfect. Can we just kiss that edge? There we go. I just had to push myself a little bit farther. But now we're fine. We've got all the storage we could want here, meaning really the potential for resource exploitation is infinite. And I keep forgetting we have a fireman pole. Let's go. Now, key things we're looking for. Obviously to just descend to the deepest depths possible, but also we're looking for kyanite and any other new materials and species we can scan. Most importantly, though, alien research facilities. We know that they're down here. In this pool down here, we find some uranite. We can just take a few of these at a time for our nuclear reactor. Though at this point, I really don't think it's going to be running out anytime soon. God, that is so weird. This is the first time I've experienced this, like, swimming for myself, but it's bizarre to, like, surface and then still be swimming. It's like continuing to fly into the sky after an epic cannonball. As we descend into this heckish trench, I guess I'm in more of a reflective mood in this part than I normally am, and I don't know why it's here in particular. Maybe it's because I feel like I've finally gotten the hang of this. If I were to do some things differently in a subsequent playthrough, I think Scanner Room more early, Cyclops and Prawn much earlier, and I think that alone would save me so much trouble. Also, I gotta get this titanium where I can, because there's simply not enough of it back where we come from. But down here, it's like walking through giant hallways, essentially. And they're not linear, they do twist and turn a little bit, but not so much that you tend to really notice it, and so it's very easy to lose your sense of direction. You gotta be very diligent in... well, I guess we have all those markers up there now. But look at this. It feels like we've taken 2 steps from the cave base, and Percy's a kilometer away. How nuts is that? Here's that large chamber, meaning we are officially farther than we've gotten last time, or at least at that point. So anything beyond this is going to be entirely new to us. I do wonder if it's not worth making that upgrade to try and get the Cyclops down here. Oh wait, did I ask if there's kyanite crystals? I just remembered I got them from these things last time. I don't know if they even exist in a loose fashion. But with these, we'll have everything we need to bring the Cyclops down here. There we go. Is kyanite a real substance? I mean, most of the substances in this game have been real materials, but kyanite I haven't actually heard of before. And maybe it's a weird alien mineral that only spawns in volcanic depths of whatever this is. Are the cave ceilings really just this high? I just had a weird moment where I looked up and realized I can't see rock. And yet we're 1,200 meters down? Where does this all lead to? Hang on, I kind of want to try and get high up. Hello. There's a Leviathan skeleton right over there. Hang on, let's go... I don't want to lose any altitude. It looks like we can head to a shelf over this way. That sounded like a very large noise, and I cannot tell if it was organic or just rocks exploding like usual. Definitely think organic. That sounded like a roar. Maybe it's the shark from Jaws the Revenge. I think there's something very big in here that we've yet to discover. This seems to be a large formation in the center. A whole bunch of kyanite in the middle. I don't think we really need any more right now. My priority is finding the source of that huge noise. And with all these plumes rising out of the geysers, the rays swimming around, I can't help but see shapes in the dark, you know? What am I getting myself into right now? There's something huge moving over there. Is that some kind of giant lava squid? Hang on. Hopefully we'll be okay so long as we stay in here. But we need to get closer so we can better observe. There it is. Oh my god! That might be the largest Leviathan we've yet seen. Or maybe the width of the tentacles makes it hard to tell. Alright, but you know me. We've got to try and get a scan. Now, I'm not sure this works. Some of you were telling me that the stasis rifle will work on a Leviathan. Let's put that to the test. Look at you. You're not a squid. I saw just the briefest glimpse of your head. Are you trying to swim away from me right now?
Detecting alien materials and a massive energy signature. Reading originates within the natural structure at the center of this chamber.
No crap. Wow. Okay, you are gonna have to be put on hold. Your ability to hide from me in here is uncanny. But yeah, we are clearly not equipped for that, so for now, let's just go explore the site. With any luck, we'll find a cure here. Oh god, could there be others? I know I asked that question about just about every new thing I encounter, but how can I not? Oh, hey, bud, I am real sorry. I know this is basically a home invasion, but I've got stuff to do. There was an entrance here. Why are you guys being such jerks? Kind of feel like taking one of your eggs, but also I'm on a bit of a mission. Yep. Where are we going? Could the aliens have actually built something within here? Well, I like it when questions are answered quickly. No speculation required. Now all we gotta do is find a way in. Preferably without the assistance of warpers. Imagine if one of these guys just warped me into a sealed box that I could never escape from. Actually, if their goal is to protect this place, why don't they just do that? There's gotta be an entrance somewhere. With my luck, the entrance would be on the bottom of this thing so that you have to dangle yourself over that lava pit. I'm thinking we should probably be real careful with our jets for the time being. Maybe something there? Maybe no. Let's get over here. I'm really having to pace myself. How the heck do you get into this thing? Okay, let's try and go to the lava's edge. Nope, I don't need you guys right now. Even with the reinforced dive suit, I imagine this would be problematic for me. Okay, another combat segment, is it? Slash the back of your head. There's a bit of an opening over here. Could that be a moon pool? No. Oh, heck. I think it'll be better if we save power and exit the prawn and do this on the Sea Glide. That'll give us the most mobility for the least cost. Yeah, I'm just not seeing a way into this thing. Oh, here we are, right over here. It's right beside the lava fall. Alright, do we bring the prawn in? I think so. I mean, hey, it's along for the ride. It deserves to see the discoveries, right? No, you don't. I saw you. Oh, so I only just learned that teleport, that's something you throw. Meaning you can miss. Okay, but we've still got work to do. And I think we save power cell power by leaving you here. I'm not 100% confident in my ability to find my way back. We can open this door. I do have a purple tablet. And there's mineable ion cubes right here. And for very, very good reason. Do I have one in my inventory? Yes, I've always been carrying one for... Yes, yes, okay. Okay, sweet. I can't wait to see where this goes. If it'll let me, I'll be back, Prawn. And if it won't, I'm in trouble. This is the 1,200 meter facility. "92 meters. Where are we? Hang on, wait, let's have a look around. C-Lab, camera, Percy. We're at the cannon outpost! Yes, we are at the cannon outpost! Okay, fast travel between these things is now a reality. Oh, that is so cool! Okay, Liberty, I'm gonna go get you and you can wait here. It's like when you go on some crazy journey. Like, imagine if Odysseus had found a teleport straight back home and could go back and forth between destination and home at will. That's what this feels like. Well, you know what that means? That means that this journey just got refreshed. We can eat, we can get some water, we can get a nuclear reactor for this place in the near future. But our range is now basically unlimited. We can do whatever, whenever. The world is officially our oyster now that we've connected both sides of the surface and the center of the underground. Like Lewis and Clark up in here. Liberty is back in the game. And if only we could get this thing activated, we would be all set. There would be literally no commute. But it's so crazy how this is like a fairly early game discovery, which actually manages to become a huge discovery all over again in the late game. Which is why there's just such like a genius in the intention of the progression design in this game. It's like the map itself is not all that big, and they could have just limited you by having you be really slow, but instead they made it so that like different parts of the map mean different things at different times. There we are. And things like have different importance depending on the context in which you discover them. But we've got more of a facility to explore. Oh, you come out on the other side. There were actually... I was buzzing all around this thing for so long, and somehow I couldn't find either of them for a while. Which I guess means the only thing left is going to be to insert our tablet. And of course we can easily go get more. Actually, I think there might be some on the Cyclops. A blue tablet? What does this get us? Smooth and cold, with a blue light which illuminates an alien symbol resembling an uppercase H. Well, it's likely these devices served in part as security clearance for whoever constructed them. Their size suggests some additional purpose, such as personal computers. Whatever the case, the technology is far beyond humanity's own. Can't wait to use it as a coffee table ornament. And I'm guessing what this gets us into is whatever's down at 1400, right? Ooh, there is...
Come here, to me.
You again. The last time we saw you was just after Sunbeam was shot down. Somebody's still around, huh? Blue eyes, blue tablet. Maybe that means something? More data downloads. And we need another purple tablet, so I think that's a trip back to the Cyclops. No matter, we can use some titanium to build a beacon.
Integrating new PDA data.
Fossil data recorded from the volcanic rock that was excavated to construct the alien power facility. It's been possible to extrapolate a number of key trends. Genetic divergence. The aliens recorded data on indigenous organic remains originating between 10,000 and 1,000 years ago. The life forms on record feature an unusually low overlap with those encountered so far in 4546b. Extinction event. Soil samples from 1,000 years ago contain 300% higher concentrations of organic remains than the soil average. Data supports a mass extinction event killing off a majority of species, and forcing rapid adaptation amongst many of the survivors. Fascinating. So, I was noting that, like, adaptation and evolution in general seems to be happening at an extremely rapid pace for these species. But I guess a mass extinction event in the relatively recent past would kind of force that. I mean, either there would be no life, or there would be radically different life after something like that. More likely none, but that wouldn't make for a very interesting game, would it? Now, having saved, I kind of want to see what'll happen if I try to bring a prawn through the portal. Will it work? It will. It absolutely will. And this is risk-free because it's air to air. My biggest fear is going air or water to air in a Seamoth. That would be disastrous. Now the problem is that presently, I have no idea where I'm going. I suppose generally in the direction of the Cyclops. Yep. So we'll do that. But I definitely need to make multiple beacons and start placing them down here. Because it's just so blind when you reach this huge chamber. Whoa, look at all this bubbling up. It's like we're seeing molten rock be generated, like, on the fly. Down here is scary, but I think over here is our exit. It's one of the places we're going to want to place a beacon. I'm thinking we upgrade the Cyclops depth and then bring it back. And I don't know how interesting of a Let's Play this is going to make for, but I do love the idea of, like, just traveling until you reach your limit, taking notes on what you're going to need, and then coming back better prepared each time. Like, even though it's a very different game, I can't help but keep drawing comparisons to Outer Wilds, where knowledge really is power. Look at that, I can see her glowing up there. Oh wait, did the terrain generate in front of it? That's so funny. And look, we did burn like a third of our power cells doing this, and it wasn't that long of a jaunt. So, I mean, getting this thing down here, being able to recharge is certainly going to help us quite a bit. Hello, did you miss me? I'm just dreading the amount of power it's going to take from this Cyclops, which itself is not fully charged. But as long as we don't use silent running, we should be okay. A thought occurs. The Cyclops' normal depth is 500 meters. If we remove this thing to craft the upgrade here, how long are we going to have to actually get that done and then reinsert it back into the Cyclops? We are hundreds of meters below that depth. Well, I suppose this is what saving was made for, huh? Okay, we put this thing right here. I am so paranoid about this not working. And then I feel like Indiana Jones about to take the idol. Take you? Yes, I know. Why not? Why not? Oh, right, we don't have... Okay, we need nickel. All right. Man, I somehow thought we already had Mark II. Okay, you're there. Okay, yes. Craft Mark II. Can we do the Mark III right now for another plasteel ingot? We don't have one and we don't have time. There you go. Crush depth now 1,300 meters. Okay, that's a big improvement. Whew. That was something. How bad did that do us? We're alright. Maybe it would have started when I was in the seat, or and maybe it just takes a while. Maybe there's a grace period for exactly this scenario. But it's just cool, like the technical element of the exploration just leads to dynamic situations like this, where choices have to be made. Let's put you right back here. No, you don't. I need this. And presumably you're not going to follow me over here. I imagine there's chambers that you won't enter. Percy is going to be rejoining the exploration crew as a shuttle between base and the Cyclops. This is about as far as we can take it. I keep forgetting that we're really pushing these limits here. And these are the literal final limits of the Seamoth. And since I had a chance to get away for a little bit, I have also taken the liberty of getting everything we need for the Mark III. That way we never have to make tough choices again. So now all we need is the depth module itself. And I'm more confident in running a little bit farther, so take you. Watch this thing just crush like a tin can. There we go. And run back. And all shall be good in thine hood. Crush depth now 1,700 meters, same as the prawn. And of course, we're not out of the woods yet. I feel like this whole game is just a constant game of more and more moving in, you know? At first it's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to stay long, let me just put my drink on the table. Then you're moving in a few bags, and next thing you know, you're talking rent. But there's going to be so many obstructions. We may be able to survive the depths, but navigating this huge thing is going to be like parking a school bus on a mini golf course. I don't know why that's the first thing I thought of, but here we are. But once again, the perspective from this thing really changes things. In the prawn, this was almost like stairs. Here it's like slowly reaching into one of those funhouse holes where you're supposed to feel something and try and guess what it is. Not sure where I'm getting my analogies from today. This place actually is truly huge, and I can't tell if I'm hitting, tell if I'm hitting stone or organisms. But then again, the creatures down here don't like me, and I don't particularly like them, so I guess it's fine. Now, if I remember correctly, this thing will sort of curve around and to the left. And I think I'm only going to take this thing, like, to the edge of the big chamber. I think that'll be close enough for the prawn to take it from there. These little fish, they've never seen anything like this before, had they? But when you look at it like this, just advancing forward down this dark, deep hallway, really take a moment to reflect on just how far we've come from scrounging around in the safe shallows, wondering if we're going to be able to make it back up from a depth of like 40, 50 meters. And all of it's so seamless, you know? It's kind of like Minecraft in that you're always just chasing the next small goal, even though the big goal remains more or less the same the entire time. In fact, the launch platform is something we researched like very early on, and everything else has just kind of been in pursuit of that. Now it's a question of whether we even want to pursue that, but we have arrived here, and I think we're going to shut down our engine so nothing bothers it, developing a Caribbean accent, and shut the lights. Oh, look at that. The glow from the magma actually is all the lighting we need. How cool is that? We're really doing good on the atmosphere down here, aren't we? Now let's just make sure we've got a decent amount of space in here. We have got a couple of beacons. The first of which I'm going to place right about here, because we want to know which of these cave entrances actually leads us back to where we're going. See you right there. Imagine if we find another way back up to the surface, though. Return to cave base. And now it's immediately back into the prawn. Look, we got our scanners moving around on top. These warpers, I swear, I wish we had a way to kill them permanently. I swear it's like chutes and ladders in here. Now, drop down. And the path to the center should be fairly straightforward. I've unfortunately neglected the torpedo arm for now, but it's something we're gonna want in the near future. So what I've noticed is that for some reason your jet recharges faster when your feet are on solid ground. It takes longer when you're using the grapple arm. So the grapple arm is useful. You can like dangle off a ledge and not lose your progress due to running out of thrust, but it's not a crutch. We now have the means to open up whatever the heck this is. And I'm seeing two things, one down there, one up here. Should I be trying to touch this? That looks very, very dangerous. Oh, it's some kind of like reaction, I guess, sustained by these pylons? Can't scan this. Ion power data. It has been possible to extract useful information regarding alien ion power.
Blueprints stored to databank.
Blueprints? Can we use these from now on? Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Ion cubes are grown artificially from a mineral substance and are treated to remain in a stable state despite the huge ionic energy contained within. By installing an ion cube in an appropriate device, this energy can be released as electrical power. We're actually getting it as a power source. Using this knowledge, it's been possible to synthesize new battery and power cell blueprints, which leverage advanced ionic energy to last considerably longer. Let's see. Ion battery and ion power cell. They're not even expensive. Yo, like, look, ion cubes, non-renewable, right? But we can get like a bunch of them. We have a bunch of them. But it's just this power source that has been... Like, it's what I was saying before. Different things mean things to us at different times. At first, they were just an alien curiosity. Now, they're just like high-efficiency energy. They've been desk ornaments this entire game. Why have things gone so silent? Alien thermal plant. Good spot for it. This system is directly converting local thermal energy into electric current at 90% efficiency. Most of this energy is being stored in the battery-like devices within the plant itself, each of which holds enough to power a small city for a year. Some of it, however, is being drained off, presumably as it's distributed to other facilities on the planet. The power plant appears to be fully automated, and given current understanding of the mechanisms involved, uninterruptible.
Integrating new PDA
Primary
data.
containment facility.
Primary alien facility location updated. Volcanic area connected to this cave system at depth 1.4 kilometers.
That's the one that was mentioned at the other site. It's connected to this? A power router in the thermal plant is distributing energy collected on-site to other facilities on the planet. Primary containment facility location updated. Constructed within a natural chasm connected to this cave network, south-southeast. Area of volcanic activity, depth 1.4 kilometers. The Warpers, 5%. Arch Network, 10%. Sanctuaries Alpha, Beta, Kappa, 10%. Quarantine Enforcement Platform, 35%, so that's an immense amount of energy. Disease Research Facility, offline. Primary Containment, 20%. Reserve, another 20%. Well, given that that all adds up to 100%, I guess when the Disease Research Facility went down, they put all their eggs into the Quarantine Enforcement basket. Who knows if it was even working before they gave up on this place. That's the thing, is that we've learned very little about the intentions of these aliens, but we've no reason to believe that they were malicious, even if they shot down Sunbeam and were almost certainly responsible for shooting down Aurora. But what did it say? South-southeast? Let's just take a whole bunch of this. Imagine just a massive explosion annihilates this whole hemisphere. I mean, the energy contained within. We're definitely going to start researching this later. Imagine, can we power a base like this? Is there some sort of reactor? I'm going to have to find that out. I'm not seeing one. I mean, I suppose the nuclear reactor is already more than good enough. Wait, Prawn. You'll actually sit down to let me in. Why do you look so adorable, like you're being patiently told a story by a wise old grandfatherly figure? No, we don't have time for that now. We've got deeper, deep do. I don't know.
The volcanic rock, which has formed in this area, can be carbon dated to between 800 and 3,000 Earth years ago.
Get away from me, you. I'm only here to learn about kyanite. I'm really interested to know what this stuff actually is. Okay. Let's get back to the prawn before we read this. My god, the locals are hostile. Like, you live in a sauna. What do you have to be angry about? You have no right to be this stressed. Kyanite is a blue silicate mineral which forms under high temperature, high pressure conditions. Please kindly get out of my face. Thank you. It is resistant to heat up to 1100 degrees Celsius and is thermoelectric, making it a valuable component of thermal power plants. Essential for advanced fabrication. It said south-southeast, connected to this cave system. We find that. We find our primary containment facility. And we've got to descend about another 200 meters while we're doing it, so as usual, once things start sloping downward, that's when we'll know we're doing things the right way. But it's hard to tell where I should be going. Is it smarter to walk underneath this thing as a canopy, or walk above it for a better view? That looks pretty deep. Let's have a look. It doesn't seem to go anywhere, unfortunately. But it's got to be around here somewhere. Howdy! Oh, look at you! You've also got that spitting ability. Oh, never mind. You just breathe fire. It's not even spit. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, pal. You're like those big fossils. You've got essentially hands. I don't know if you're the same thing, but you're probably at the very least related. We are gonna wanna, nope, go. We're gonna wanna keep out of your sight for the most part. I think fighting you is not something we're interested in. But I cannot find this so-called cave entrance. Oh, look at all this. Oh, the floor really is lava on this side. Over by the dead Leviathan. I think I might have found the cave entrance, you guys. Okay. Okay, 73 power. I do have... Oh, stop. Oh, you just pushed me straight off. Thank you for making the decision for me. It's just the push I needed. And here we are at 1,400 meters. Our old limit. Now we're deeper even than that great creature. And things have gone just about silent once more. I was going to say, I do have a spare power cell on me in case we need to recover this thing. And there's another one. Never mind. Never mind. Sorry for attempting to rejoice in my triumph over evil once more. Turns out I was just talking to evil's receptionist. But there is unmistakably a facility over there, and something... Actually, there's something standing on the surface of the lava.
I am what you seek. Want to help you.
Something tells me you're not communicating in English. You're beaming your thoughts straight to me, aren't you? Being read in the intended fashion. Okay, our grappling arm isn't going to help us too much here. Warpers around, big old dragon, which is... what else can you describe it as? Let's see what we can do. Presumably we won't be able to walk along the surface here. Maybe I should repair myself first? We gotta make sure we're ready for this journey. We're not going to get a lot of chances at this. If we end up stranded in a place that's killing our health... Also, apparently there's dolphins around in here. What is that squeakiness? Is that... That wouldn't be the rays, would it? Maybe the lizards. Alright, we'll hop platform to platform. Up and over. I don't know if that glow is significant, but it acts as a beacon, if nothing else. High visibility, contrasting with the lava. Over to the next one. Give our jets some time to recharge in midair. Remember that I am, in fact, not in air. And so much of this game feels like flight. And we've hopped it. Actually, wait, no. I need to find something out right now. It might be foolish to get out here, especially with you guys coming at me. But if we look straight up... Oh my god. We are essentially directly beneath the life pod. That's insane, and I always had a suspicion. For some reason, I've just, like, always had the inkling for the entire time that there would be something crazy at crazy depths below it. Well, here we are. Oh, are you kidding me? No, actually, we do have just what we need. Arcane knowledge at our fingertips. Have we actually... I mean, technically we can still go 300 meters deeper, but... Have we actually beaten this planet?
Translating local alien broadcast. Warning, vaccine development program terminated. Emperor egg hatching project terminated. Live specimens terminated. Evacuate immediately.
What are these little guys? Little robot spiders or something? Alien robot. Oh, they're more like crabs. Do they dance? This device is of alien origin, although its design is relatively simple. Purpose. Its low threat level is at odds with the advanced technology apparently available to its designers, suggesting it was intended more to patrol alien facilities and repair damaged infrastructure than to deter invaders. No, that's what the warpers are for, isn't it? Despite its simple design, this construction is quite elegant in its minimalism. 4 electromagnetic legs allow it to traverse floors, walls, and ceilings with reasonable speed, and appear to be replaceable. Internally, there are few moving parts, rendering this construct energy efficient and resistant to wear over time. A rechargeable, ion-based power reserve ensures it continues to operate. Assessment: immobilize and return to Altera for mutual profit. I think I'm content to let these guys wander around like they've been doing for the past millennium. Where do we even begin? Well, by scanning, I suppose. They're like little Roombas. Rudimentary tablet. This device shares many similarities with the tablets used to access the alien facilities, although its structure is rather less complex. It may have served a similar purpose, granting security access and storing relevant data, and was thus kept here as a form of legacy support. Oh, we're in the Apple Museum. Circular object. And it's still rotating. Holographic projector. This device contains network apparatus and a holographic projection unit. It was likely used as a communications relay, capturing and projecting the image of the user to a remote location. There do not appear to be any other devices in range. Oh, there's so much here. We're literally walking through an alien museum, and it's just... there's no one here to stop us, nothing to stop us. It's just our reward, an info dump for coming all this way. Ancient blade. An ancient earth blade dating back to the 13th century. Blood samples on the blade match the DNA of 7 separate heads of state from the period. This evidence supports the theory that the aliens are an ancient spaceborne civilization engaged in the surreptitious study of less developed species. We've encountered them before, or at least they've encountered us. Alien statue. This artifact is unpowered, suggesting it served a ceremonial rather than practical purpose. The pyramid resembles vines, spiraling upwards toward the warm blue stone mounted above it. It may represent a plant found on the aliens' homeworld, a building of religious import, or even the gravitational pull of their home solar system. Strange carving. Looks almost like a yin-yang symbol. This carving is hundreds of thousands of years old, and made from an unrecognized natural fiber, grown on an unknown planet. It bears striking resemblance to the old Earth yin-yang symbol. 2 competing theories may explain this similarity. Number 1, aliens visited the Earth prior to the 4th century BC and influenced the development of ancient Chinese philosophy. 2, the concept of yin and yang is universal. Since yin and yang describes the fundamental interdependency of seemingly opposite forces, it may be a necessary existential understanding in some form in all sufficiently developed civilizations. The tapering of 2 circles, union, into opposed and infinitesimally small points, the finite, is one logical way to represent this understanding, and may have been developed independently by species other than humans, raising lots of questions and all of the potential answers fascinating. Ion Cube Fabricator. Okay, maybe they're not actually... maybe they can actually be reproduced. Big if true. This device appears to be the origin of the raw mineral that forms the base of the ion cubes which power smaller alien systems. Likely drawing power itself from the main thermal plant, this device may represent an almost limitless source of energy. Our vacation pad is going to be so sweet. Yeah, we need to take a sip of water.
Vital signs stabilizing.
But pretty soon it is going to be time to head back. Oh. Alien building block. This rock-like object features organic as well as mechanical parts, and there is some genetic and technological crossover with the design of the self-warping constructs encountered elsewhere. It appears to serve no purpose in its current state, and is awaiting some kind of activation sequence. Materials such as this may have been a fundamental building block of the aliens' technology, or even of the aliens themselves. What are you looking at? The lights on the end of those stalks look like eyes. Ow! You little piece of crap! Get over here! It was self-defense. That thing was thousands of years old. I'm now realizing that with a sense of dread. But it's... I mean, there's more, right? Who cares? This device stores linguistic data from over 1,000 different languages. It's a Rosetta Stone. The core of the device may allow alien text to be read and translated. Analysis of the onboard data reveals a number of ancient Earth languages, and the term CHBC Live appears many times in the device's data. Its import is unclear. I imagine that's some kind of in-joke. The device seems to be configured to translate into the designer's language. It will not work the other way around. Oh. But maybe we can make ourselves better understood? An empty case, maybe, but it raises some implications. Not empty at all! Nanobots! Scans show some form of advanced nanobot inside this seemingly empty case. These bots are substantially smaller than any developed within the Federation, and it's not possible to ascertain their exact function. It would, however, be unwise to release them. Sealed apocalypse in a can. Organic matter particulator. This device contains a highly unstable radioactive isotope, likely to destroy all organisms exposed to it while leaving physical structures intact. Although it would function perfectly well as a weapon, it was more likely used to sterilize spaces for later inhabitation. Without instructions, it would be unwise to interact with it. Yes, certainly. Although I guess it would be useful for colonization, preventing exposure to alien bacteria. I guess they didn't do a good enough job. Tracking implant. This construct is emitting a high-bandwidth signal consistent with alien transmissions intercepted elsewhere. DNA on the exterior indicates it was once implanted inside one of the lifeforms indigenous to 4546b, its size suggesting the subject was a Leviathan-class organism. Beyond tracking and broadcasting its location, the implant may have also recorded biological data on the subject. However, this data cannot be retrieved. Look, so many different hallways, exits, another floor. It really is just laying it all out for us. And from the surface, this whole place just seems uninhabited, this whole planet. It's insane.
Integrating new PDA data.
Enzyme 42 project data. According to translated data logs, an indigenous Leviathan species was found to produce a unique substance referred to as Enzyme 42, which inhibited the symptoms of the Kara bacterial infection in other indigenous organisms. The specimen was captured and contained in a purpose-built habitat for further study. The alien researchers went to great lengths to provide for the lifeform's environmental needs, including the import of interdependent flora and fauna via an on-site warp gate. There's a warp gate here! However, its health quickly deteriorated. When quarantine was imposed, all warp gates and force fields were sealed. All attempts to develop the enzyme into a vaccine had been unsuccessful. But there is something here, right? Okay. How are we doing this? We could... there's even more up here. I think we need to pretty quickly find that warp gate because we're running low on food and water. Yeah, I've actually burned through everything I brought down here. What are you? Preserved fetus. That thing's a fetus? It's as big as me. It looks almost like a sea monkey or something. Sea Emperor fetus. Found preserved in a display case, it was likely a child of the adult specimen contained within the facility. Superficial damage of the specimen indicates it was artificially removed from its egg casing. Stunted tissue development suggests the organism expired during the removal process. Tissue samples have been taken from the digestive tract. It appears the aliens were attempting to formulate a cure for the bacterium from enzymes produced in the specimen's digestive system. Without a young, healthy specimen, these efforts were in vain. It's like they were so close. Maybe things would have worked out if they had been more patient, if they had had a bit more reverence for the life here. And here's the egg casing, presumably the one that it came from. The shell casing is formed from thick layers of carbon composite, suggesting an extensive gestation period. The Leviathan species may give birth just once per century, perhaps just once in their lifetimes, so this is a devastating loss. Precise incisions suggest a laser-based tool was used to cut open the egg casing and forcibly remove the fetus inside prior to full gestation. Time pressure to develop a bacterial vaccine may have driven the alien researchers to cut open this egg and remove the fetus for study. So maybe it's not a lack of reverence, maybe they just didn't have time. It's also possible that, removed from its parent and natural habitat, some vital condition for the infant to hatch naturally was not met. We need another blue tablet. We can actually really easily make one, but I think that's going to have to wait. For now, there's plenty else to have a gander at. Okay, I just had a weird deja vu moment to watching the original Star Wars trilogy on VHS. I don't know why coming into these back hallways and seeing all these... Actually, I almost feel like I've had dreams like this. As a toddler. I don't know. I'm getting really... This whole architecture and lighting is doing something really, really weird to me. I don't know. Anyway, here's our warp gate. Do we have an ion cube? No, but we've got a bunch back at the prawn. A different one. Hang on, wait. Are all of these directions different warp gates? All of them converging here? I mean, it makes sense given the commute, but still. Is that going to be 4 gates, 4 chargers? Yes, be careful you don't trip the motion lights when you're going to get a glass of water at night. You're going to get jump scared half to death.
This room appears to
There's
be
a whole lab
biological
here.
archive storing more than 40 indigenous egg specimens in different states of development.
It's like that seed vault. In the event of an apocalyptic scenario, maybe they could reintroduce all these species from these egg samples. Just about everything that lives on this world. Most of these I've seen. Some of them I'm not entirely sure I have. But they were planning. It does seem that their research was focused around biological life, even before this bacterium became a thing. Actually, wasn't it suggested that this bacterium was actually introduced by them? Is that what a big one of you looks like? See Emperor Leviathan research data. Specimen size categories have been adjusted upward to accommodate this species. It's bigger than anything we've seen? Feeding and digestion. Alien research data indicates that despite its size, the species feeds entirely on microorganisms it filters from the water, which themselves depend on a complicated ecosystem of plant and animal life. Large ovary-like organs are carried in the creature's middle section, suggesting that, like other species on the planet, it produces eggs. However, internal scar tissue indicates probable infertility. Enzyme 42. The Emperor manufactures Enzyme 42 within its stomach cavity to break down its food, and will occasionally expel it into the surrounding waters. This substance was found to neutralize the effects of the bacterium, and its presence in the ecosystem today would explain how life on the planet survived the outbreak. It would remain to be explained by what mechanism the enzyme is being delivered. Comparative analysis of size and metabolic rates indicate the specimen captured by the researchers was approximately 1,600 years old. Extensive internal and external scar tissue suggested it lived well in excess of the peak lifespan for its species. I'm not sure what to make of that information. While a healthy Emperor specimen may have held some potential as a cure, it is unlikely any research subject survived quarantine procedures. But I don't think this is going to be another dead end. Alright, there is something here on the opposite side, but I think I'm low on food and water. I think I need to get at least one of these portals open, and we'll save the rest for next time. I need to restock and get a move on. So first of all, let's introduce our buddy. Oh, how do your jets work above water? Not too well. Not too well on land, which is understandable, of course. And we're gonna need you to sit down. And we'll grab an ion cube from you. So there's enough to open every portal here. Why not start with the very first one we discovered and see if we can't take it from there. We've got the keys to the city now. And let's just hope that it takes us someplace useful. I mean, one of these is bound to help, right? Oh, this might actually be the cave that we discovered earlier. Oh, no, this is new. I actually haven't seen this before. We're over in the Mushroom Kingdom. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna place another of my beacons right here. We need to know where all of these are for cross-travel. Mushroom portal. There we go. That'll confuse any Altera explorers who find it later. We are a mere kilometer from the life pod. Quite far from other outposts, so got an extensive sea glide journey ahead of us. God, it is so weird to be... Like, I really felt like I was playing a different game after all this time. Spent so long in the caves that I'd almost forgotten what the surface is like. I don't know, it's like there's just two separate worlds. But that's what this whole game has been about, isn't it? Separate worlds. The surface, beneath the waves, the caves below, and beyond. And the amazing thing about this game to me is that for as hard-won as all this progress is, for as much of a slog as it sometimes felt like, all of this was available to us from the very beginning. It was just a matter of opening the toy box and digging for the right toys at the right times. And even though we're ending this video literally right back at square one after getting the deepest we've possibly been, I think now we can literally do anything.
Vital signs stabilizing.
And we will need to do anything because we're gonna have to succeed where an alien race failed 1,000 years ago. But that'll have to wait until next time. Until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.